Hello, hello, hello. It's LT, Latasia Wright, the owner of LT Wellness, and I'm here to give you my birth story of my baby number 2, Kingston James Wright. Just had him July 16th at 7:02 a.m. in the morning. And if you've been following me, I did give some little pregnancy tips while I was pregnant, and I shared my birth story of my baby girl, Milani. And so I'm just jumping on here to give you the story because I know y'all have been following me, and some people have asked about me going natural and what happened during my labor. So if you missed all the funness that happened at the end of my labor, I was 12 days past my due date, which was July 4th. And I was pretty anxious and ready to go, but still just trusting time and ready to go, waiting for my baby to come. So the Friday before my due date, which was July 4th, I went into one of my appointments and I had another one scheduled for Monday because if you've never made it that far, once you get past 40 weeks, your uterus, not your uterus, your the sac or whatever, it starts to deteriorate, and it may not give the baby everything it needs, so they monitor you more. Most times things are fine, but you end up going twice a week. And so this was one of my appointments at the end of my pregnancy where it was like, okay, you do the stress test, we do an ultrasound, and then I was back again and I still hadn't delivered. I was 5 centimeters at this point, and I looked at my midwife and I said, I'm done. I do not want to do this anymore. If he's not here by Monday, we need to start talking about induction. And she said, okay, great. We could do whatever you want. Because that Wednesday they would have to induce me anyway, because you can't go past 42 weeks. It's just not safe for you or the baby. And so I was like, yeah, I want to be induced. I said, I'm going to be honest at this point. I am less afraid of a C-section than I am Pitocin, because I've heard horror stories about Pitocin and it making the contractions so strong and stressing people out and they're not able to deliver the baby. She gave me some really great news that like they do it differently from a lot of hospitals. A lot of hospitals will start Pitocin at like a 12 and give it to you every 15 minutes, which does bring it on pretty intense. They started at much lower doses. I think she said something like a 4, and they can even go to a 2 if that's too much, and they give it to you every 30 minutes. So that relaxed my mind a little bit. But of course, I still wanted to go in labor naturally. I made it this far. Let's go naturally. Friday, nothing happened. Saturday, nothing happened. Sunday, nothing happened. Monday, I'm starting to get a little anxious. I don't want to be induced, but it's like something has to happen. No point in waiting to Wednesday. So we're checking in at 8 o'clock to be induced. So in the middle of the night, at this point during my pregnancy, I wake up 2 to 3 times a night to go use the bathroom. And I started waking up. The first time I looked at the clock, it might have been 1:30. I went to use the bathroom and I was back up. And then I was back up and I was like, I think I'm going to the bathroom too close together, because at this point you kind of get up like a zombie and you come back to your bed and you go back to sleep. And I realized that like I'm going to the bathroom closer together, and you have the urge to, sorry guys if you're not used to this, or people that have had babies, you have the urge to like poop. And so I was like, I think I'm having contractions, and then right away I shut it down. I was like, I'm not going to get myself excited, because I've been thinking for the past 2 weeks that I may be having something happen, and nothing's happening. So I started timing on this tracker that I had, and I was like, yeah, these feel like contractions, but I don't know. Let me go to the bathroom. Maybe I just gotta, go to the bathroom. So I went, I sat down, and I was like, okay, that's it. And I stood up and I was like, oh, nope, let me get in the shower. So I got in the shower, contractions still coming. And then I got out, I went to my husband, I said, I think I'm in labor. Actually, no, I am in labor. I am contracting and they're coming pretty regularly. So I started to brush my teeth. I was like, you brush your teeth and then go wake up my mom. I'm calling the doctor. Once they call us back, we can leave. By the time I finished brushing my teeth, my contractions were about 4 to 6 minutes apart. Varying, they would change 4, sometimes 5, sometimes 6. And they were lasting about 45 seconds to a minute. And so I was like, I don't think we need to wait for them to call us back. We need to go ahead and go to the doctor. So my dad brought my mom later, but we just went ahead and left and went and checked in the hospital. So this all started with regular about 3:45. We checked into the hospital at 5 o'clock. So I get in, they have to put you on a monitor. They put you on a monitor where they track the contractions and the baby heartbeat. So I'm laying on my back in this bed, and every time I had a contraction, the baby heart rate would slow down, and it would go like boom, 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 boom. So I was like, is that a problem? They were like, no. I love this hospital. I love my practice. They don't freak you out, but they also, I don't think they tell you everything. They're like, no, no. I was like, well, okay, how long do I have to be on this thing? They were like 30 minutes. And I was like, okay, it's been about 30 minutes. Can I get up? They were like, no, every time his heart rate drops, you start over. We need a consistent 30 minutes of him not dipping that low. And I was like, oh. So I was like, well, you could try to flip over to your other side. At this point, my contractions are coming pretty steady, but I'm still managing. I would just breathe. I was requesting to get out of bed because I hated being on my back and it just didn't feel comfortable. But I would just breathe through them at this point. So I laid on my left side and the contractions were not affecting his heartbeat as much, but they were still dropped. And so at this point, my midwife showed up and she was like, yeah, we're not concerned about his heart rate because he's acting like a baby that's ready to come out, but we need some acceleration in his heart rate. So that's why we got to keep you on the monitor. And I was like, I really got to get out of this bed. I don't want to be in this bed anymore. I want to stand up. She's like, well, in a few, we could probably have you stand up right here if you just stay close by the bed. We got to keep you on the monitor. And I said, okay. So she had me flip to the other side. And then at this point, I'm just getting uncomfortable. I'm actually moaning through the contractions at this point. And I was like, I do not want to be in this bed. I feel like I got to use the bathroom. I think I need to get up. And they were like, well, how about you go up on all fours? So I got up on all fours. I'm still in clothes and everything at this point, and I'm moaning. They checked me. This is the second time they checked me because when they first checked me there, I was at 6 centimeters, and then at 7 when the midwife checked me. And I'm moaning. I'm like, I'm uncomfortable. I'm tired of being in these wires. Well, why don't you take off your dress? I snatched my dress off, threw it over Taj's shoulder. And they kind of all just laughed at me. I'm sorry. I'm like, sorry. Modesty is out the window at this point. And so I'm just, moving my hips because I've done a lot of research. Dancing, moving your hips, pelvis, all that helps the baby descend, helps you manage the contractions. Like, I want out of this bed. I want to stand up. They're like, okay, we're going to let you stand up. I was like, I actually got to go to the bathroom. And she's like, well, when you feel like you have to go to the bathroom, that usually means you're progressing. You want me to check you. And I was like, yes. And she went to check me and she's like, your bag is actually bulging. So it's probably about to break, but I could break your water, but it's going to make things way more intense. I was like, don't break it. She said, but I can't tell how far dilation. I was like, okay, just let me use the bathroom. I went to use the bathroom. I had to tinkle and I got up and I was like, I still feel the urge to have to poop, but that's probably just the pressure down there. And she was like, yeah, you're probably progressing. So I came back over to the bed and stand up and it got real. I was 7 centimeters and in 15 minutes, I went from 7 to 10. So I'm holding on to the bed, leaning over, standing up, and I'm squatting with every contraction and they're coming back to back. And at this point, I'm keeping a low, kind of scream, but not screaming high pitch, because if you scream high pitch, you clench your bottom, which works against you. And I had 2 contractions back to back, and I was like, I want to give up. I can't do this. Everybody in the room was like, yes, you can. I was like, you're right, I can. Taj just putting a vision board in my place. I'm reading stuff, looking at names. He's talking to me, and I'm just like, I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. And then finally, the contractions just would not let up. And I had one that was like, whoa. And I was like, I do not want to do this. And they was like, you're probably about to do this. And then as I said that, I started crowning. And they call it the Ring of Fire. And I'll tell you, like, all the stories are true. Like, their energy rushed over my body where it just took over. And I felt the urge to push. And the Ring of Fire, I couldn't even feel anymore. I was so afraid of pushing before this point that I didn't even care. I didn't feel my hips. I didn't feel a contraction. 2 contractions came back to back, and I bear it down, and I pushed, holding onto the bed and standing up. And I pushed. I felt him crowning, and then I pushed again, and he popped out, and he just came on out. And I was standing up, and they were like, grab him, pulled him out, put him on my chest. My legs instantly got shaky, and I started crying. It was a beautiful moment. I couldn't believe I did it. But my body literally took over, and I just bared down and pushed. Probably pushed him out too fast. But I was like, okay, this is it. I feel it. Push. He popped out. The water burst as I popped as I was pushing him out. So that was kind of cool. And probably helped me not feel as much pain. And so then I was in the bed. Baby boy was here. I delivered naturally. And it was great. Couldn't believe I did it. I felt pretty awesome about it. I will say, ooh, shit. It was pretty intense. Can't even lie about that. But anybody that's wanting to do it, it is totally attainable. I'll give more details in my funny commentary on it on one-on-one because I don't want to scare people. You feel it, people. And every story that I see when it's like you want to give up, it's the truth. You get there and you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, what in the hell was I thinking? And then it's over. So it wasn't that bad. Thank you, Taj. I love you too. I feel proud of myself for doing it. It's intense. I looked at Taj immediately and said, you're not getting any more kids out of me. This is done. And I will say, if I had him first and did it naturally first, I don't know if I would do it again naturally, just being completely honest. But I did it, and I'm excited, and I'm proud of myself, but it was intense. The recovery, I was asked about, like, how did I recover? Did I find it better with the epidural or with the natural? Naturally, I will say I felt more. After I felt the pains, like with the epidural, I think everything had wore off by the time the medicine had wore off, so I didn't feel as much, but it felt like my body had been through a train wreck. And I tore this time. I didn't tear the first time, so that could be a difference, but I could feel more, but I was more alert. I didn't feel as groggy. I didn't feel as emotional as like sadness. So the recovery was better and worse at the same time because I ripped this time. I had stitches. Monday, guys, I had to go back and get those stitches repaired because the one pop. So it was more intense and less intense at the same time, but I don't regret it. And that's my story. If you have any questions for me or comments, you always can reach out, text me, message me. But that's my story, and my baby boy is great. He's such a good baby. He sleeps a lot. He loves his mama a lot too. So that's it. I hope y'all have a wonderful Friday. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.